Good morning. It is another wonderful morning, and I am just chilling here. Got up, did my thing, and now I am just trying to reach out to you guys. Okay, so I did tell people that it is illegal to not have document registration. It is illegal. But they said, hey, it's also not necessary. But in the not necessary blankets, well, it's not necessary because if you decide to remain illegal and not register your documentation, you get fines, fees, and taxes. You don't have to be a criminal. Now you just have fees for your telephone, for your lights, for your gas. You'll have fees for your mortgage. You have fees for your rent, your lease. You have fees. Um, you have fines. Did you drive? Did you get a ticket? That's a fine. Um, there are other fines as well. Oh, have you gone to the hospital? That's a fee. Have you do you have regular doctor's appointments that you pay for? Those are fees. When I tell people that this is infecting every single person's life, and they're like, well, I'm not a criminal. I am not a criminal either. So, do you have fines and fees in your life? Okay, that is because you are living in an illegal caveat of life. You have not registered your documentation. They have listed that as a crime. So, all of you people sitting around with birth certificates that have not registered them, you are criminals. You are criminals. Every single one of you. Have you never cursed before? Have you never drawn your arm back to knock the shit out of somebody? You are a criminal. Have you never gotten a parking ticket, a speeding ticket? You're a criminal. Do you have a birth certificate on the shelf that is not authenticated? Is it in a drawer? Is it between a book pages or something? Where do you have it stored? Is it in a box on a shelf in the back of your closet? Where is it? Is it in a filing case somewhere? Is it just haphazardly laying around your house as if it's not worth millions of dollars? Every single one of you has millions of dollars, and you are ignorant enough to not be curious about how to cash in on it. So, the people that are saying, I need money. Okay, I'm trying to tell you that there is money, but I'm also trying to tell you that you've ran into information before that was misleading. And if you keep clinging to it, you won't have a good outcome. Now, I'm not saying that there is something out there threatening you, knocking on your door, and maybe you have comfort in your life and you feel like, I'll get to it whenever I get to it. Well, if you're not up on current events, you may not get to it. Current events are they are making huge rapid changes. You don't see them because they're not being explained through the news. People keep waiting for the news to come out and tell them what is going on. But I must ask you, at what point in this history that you have grown up in, and I've been growing up in it for 50 years now, At what point could you rely on the government to give you accurate information? Now, how many times did you find yourself saying to yourself, um, for you adults, for you people who have reached the age of 18 or 20, have left home, or above that age, have left home and are honestly figuring out how to pay your own bills? Now, I say figuring out because a lot of people don't get a proper guidance and tutelage before they leave home, because most parents tell you to sit down, shut up, and follow their rules, and they don't give you guidance. This is why the government's taking over people's children, because these people are running amok because they have no tutelage. No one has taught them anything. So they are running around trying to figure it out. Now, I am one of those people who was running around trying to figure it out because I didn't have any tutelage. Anyway, so now you are in this position where you are finding random jobs here and there, and maybe you're creating some little hustles or finding little hustles, and you got like a little struggle. Maybe it's not the worst struggle that you've ever had. Maybe it's not a huge struggle. Maybe it's just a big waiting game for you because things are happening, but just not rapidly. But no matter what, you have left the comfort and the safety of your parents. Some of you, I'm sorry, some of the people don't have comfort and safety in your parents. But you've left that place and you're out in the world and you're trying to figure it out. All right. That's a negative. If you are trying to figure it out, then that's a negative. That means that your home didn't prepare you. Now, I'm not going to say talk shit about your home because, quite honestly, almost nobody's home is preparing them. Now, the reason that that is let's say that recently, and not too recently, there was a big deal about the Freedom of Information Act. Now, the more intelligent people that know what information is out there that needs to be shared commonly among the public, those people are all in an uproar about the Freedom of Information Act and how necessary it was and how tragic it is that people are still ignoring the information that has finally gained its freedom. Now, people don't comprehend why this is bad. But let's say, okay, 40s, 50s, 60s, melanated people could not go to the library. You could not go to the courthouse to file a claim without getting harassed and beaten down by the police even. So there was no freedom for you to gather information. Now, one of those things those pieces of information that had not been given freedom amongst the people was the legal system, not the law. The law, if you can interpret it, actually, if you can plainly read it as it is and comprehend it, not interpret, don't change the Bible. Don't change it. Look at those words, comprehend what those words mean, and then allow yourself to think of a time period that is not this time period, and allow yourself to think of these things that we have been told are abstract and supernatural. You need to start thinking that those things had an honest existence at some point prior to war, fear, struggle. So, Okay, so now we are in a time period where we can't imagine that these things happened and they were commonplace. We think that these things are fiction. But now, if you go down and you start reading these things that have found their freedom, you will start reading them. These are histories. These are the rules, the guidelines on how they run the United States corporation, which is inside of every nation. You think of the United States as America. No. First of all, the thing that you think of as America, you think of America as a land mass. That is not true. America is not a land mass. America is a concept. To be American is to be judged harshly by the U.S. court systems. To be judged harshly by the court systems means that you have not registered your documentation, and therefore the protections that you are due to have through your nation from the treaty that it organized and had an agreement with, treaty is an agreement, with the United States. Now, people make up a whole lot of words, and they call these words land masses. They say that these words represent land masses. They are the names of land masses. That is not always true. Many of these places that we see defined on a map are corporate concepts. Now, if you've ever put together a business, that thing that you call the business is a concept that came from your mind. It's a creation, it's a fiction. The calling of your business is a concept. You created it in your mind. So, when you say, this is Kiki's Playhouse, then it is a little place for children to play, and they have named it Kiki's. But if it was at a different place, it might be Omar's Playhouse. It might be Brian's Playhouse. It might be Janet's Playhouse. It might be Kitty Wonderland. It might be Play Until You Pass Out. That calling is a corporate concept. Okay, so now you kind of maybe comprehend how these land masses don't necessarily historically have the calling that we see currently today. Okay. So, this thing that they call America is a fictional concept, and someone thought of rules of how they're going to treat people. Now, because they are pretending that the natural people of the land really don't exist anymore, they're pretending that this was an abandoned forest and they just came and they found it and they can just make up anything. That's not true. I can't walk across the street to the neighbors and say, well, I've never seen you before, so get the fuck out. It's my house now. So you have to comprehend that you have to learn where these callings and these words are coming from and who has decided to put these words and utilize them. So go to their book of rules, which is the United States. Go to their book of rules, which is the code, and figure out why these different concepts have come about. Then you can start to see how the histories have played out and have led to this. Because if you're walking around and you're seeing Italians, Greeks, and Middle Easterns are the people who are the owners of all major corporation, then you're thinking to yourself, well, how in the fuck did these people who literally grew out of nowhere, they just grew out of nowhere. In the beginning, there was no place called Italy. That place was called Etrusca. So where in the fuck are the Etruscans? And where in the fuck did these Italians come from out of nowhere? Okay, so, and that goes along with the Greeks too. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and make war on these people, because just like you didn't comprehend that you don't know your true histories, those people don't know theirs either. Now, some do, but a great deal of them don't. Because a lot of people will bring their common sense and their empathy and their sympathy to a situation, and they'll say, I'm not going to participate with that. That's ugly. That's wrong. That's nasty. I'm not going to do that. So there is a great deal of deception. The only people that know these rules are the people who are living well. And I mean well. Now, if I hadn't been running around with some of these people, I really couldn't tell you the difference between what they do and what the common person does. But I grew up a little bit better than common, not knowing that I was growing up a little bit better than common. I thought it was everyone's growing up in existence. So when I started running into people that had more, I was just like, okay, well, you just have more expensive things, but we still have a common experience. For the most part, that is true. But their erudition is much better than our education. In erudition, you're getting true knowledge and you're being taught how to utilize it. In education, you're being taught how to do a thing so that you can repetitively do that thing. You're being taught to be a worker. That's the difference between erudition and education. So, many people are out there educated and not erudite. And if you're not erudite, you're not erudite, meaning you're not thinking on your feet as you're moving and encountering situations and scenarios. You're not growing and learning as you move. You are getting stuck in stasis going, wait a minute, how do I make that dough? It's supposed to go like this. No, you're supposed to see what it is, realize what it's attempting to do, and then, if necessary, decide how it should end. And hopefully you're putting that into a better position than you found it. Okay, so that is erudite. All of you people that are struggling and getting frustrated and angry because a situation is not working to your imagined outcome, you guys are educated. So you have to start going to where the information is. There is that Freedom of Information Act. No one is truly appreciating that struggle that those people had getting that information released. So stop allowing someone to give you a reason to be angry and start searching for the information and just say, hey, obviously the information isn't out there. I've got to keep looking for it. I've got to keep looking for it. So, all of you criminals out there, shed yourself of that criminality by getting an affidavit of ownership. Go to the CFR. The ECFR will tell you how to do it. Affidavit of ownership. And a notice of claim. The ECFR will tell you how to do it. Notice of claim. Now, there are so many other things that you need to include. You need to look up full faith and credit. You need to figure out what they are attempting to tell you there. You need to look up government obligations. You need to know what they're obligated to and under what circumstances and how to bring that about. You need to look up corporation. You need to read the entire section on corporation. I think that's actually a little bit smaller than the rest of these scenarios. Corporation, you need a vast you need it's vast knowledge, and you need a grasp on that information, because if you don't have that tight hold, that grasp, that comprehension of what all of these different corporate concepts are and how they come together and how they what do you call it, how they all intertwine. If you don't have all of the definitions, all of the terminology coming directly from that United States Code, you're not going to comprehend the paperwork that returns your treasury to you so that you can get off of the rat race, the wheel that they've got you on, that repetitiveness that makes you get up every single day and you're like a little hamster on a wheel and you're just going round and round in circles with the dumb stuff, and you really want to get off, and it's driving you irritated, and I'm not going to say crazy, it's driving you irritated, and you're getting frustrated, and you just really don't know what to do, and it's like the bills keep coming and they keep getting bigger, and the economy is like crazy and it keeps getting bigger, and the gas prices are out of control, and at the end of the week your paycheck looks so small and it looks like it's not stretching to every place that you need it to stretch to. This is why you want to read the information, because some of those shits aren't supposed to be stretched. Some of those shits aren't supposed to be in existence in your life. They are in existence because you're a criminal who hasn't registered your documents. You are unauthorized. So you need to be authorized and less criminal. So, I keep telling people, I think there are little things that I tell you pretty much every time I make one of these videos that I didn't say before. Like, I didn't tell people before that you literally are a criminal. So, and the police don't even want to talk to me anymore. They don't even want to talk to me. Because I let them know that no. You are the criminal. You work for a system that deliberately hid the information that is allowing you to believe that you have a right to approach me in this aggressive manner. But if you don't back up, I will approach the district courthouse with the Form 95 titled with your name on it. And then they say, what is a Form 95? And I was like, well, if you don't know, you're in the most dangerous position that you can be in, because you are endangering your freedom and your life. They have not heard people speak to them in that manner, that a piece of paper is endangering their freedom and their life. They think only they wield that power. They think that that badge is a shield. They do call it a shield, don't they? They think that thing is going to stop them from all onslaught of any warring type of situations. The reality is, they never opened up the damn book. They don't know what the code is. They don't know what the state revised statutes say. They don't know what the administrative code is, how to go about filling out these forms. They don't even know what these forms, they don't even know that these forms are in existence. How in the hell are you going to work a job that endangers your fucking life with paper? With paper. And you don't fucking know about it. How about, I probably have about 10 different cop names on the top of my fucking head right now that if I wanted to be absolutely correct in every capacity of the law, those people would meet with executions. Okay, so if I wanted to enact every aspect of the law from the time that the policy enforcers, when I was 8 years old, took me out of the safety of my family home, all of those people can be executed. And every single individual that worked for a government system that I have encountered since can be executed. Mr. Sexual Harassment Dan Ivory Perkins from North Carolina, that military experience where I was 18 and that motherfucker was 36, almost 40 fucking years old, trying to fuck a fucking child. You're not grown because you're 18. You don't become grown until you have hit all these different negativities in life and learned how to pass them and not fall under them and not be overwhelmed. That shit comes later in life. Ain't nobody prepared you for that bullshit. And ain't nobody gonna be standing next to you when that bullshit comes and happens to you. And most likely everybody's gonna be like, oh, well, that ain't me. So that's when you're gonna be grown. But anyway, so all of those different scenarios that have impacted my life and kind of added to the attitude that I am, all of those things can lead to an execution. So all of you people that are sitting around struggling, feeling like you really, really, really did not get a good hand in life, literally, stop being upset about that. Just be happy to read. Like right now, I'm so happy. I am so happy. Like all of those people that frequented the house of my grandfather and his whore, and those people that came in and touched us because she was not a proper woman of the house. She just really was just some hoe trying to get kudos from some penis. So she didn't give a fuck what happened to us. So the things that came into that house, those people now who came in and raped me in that house, those people are now executable. Like I can execute them because I have sovereign immunity. So I don't have to worry about the things that harmed me before. I just have to worry about intaking the information. So all of you people that are struggling to make yourself seen in the system so that you can be the next best hip hop, the next best fashion designer, the next best whatever, any of that shit, that's all teaching you to live in the material world. So if that is your goal, then you don't need to register. You need to just keep living the life that the Romans designed for you, that the Greeks designed for you, that the Anunnaki designed for you, that the reptilian race designed for you, that the gray alien race designed for you. Because this is a world that belonged to Egyptians. And all of those offshoots of different species and peoples that have been here ever since, that's all an invasion, and it's wrong. Some of it's not an invasion. Some of it is just a complete, betrayal and a treason against the original people. So, and some of it's war. So people don't realize what side of the fence they're standing on right now. They don't. So people need to become aware of pretty much everything that has been placed before you. All of this Freedom of Information Act, all of these things that were released, why were they released? Why do those people fight so hard? Why do they keep telling you about book burnings and about censorship? Why do they keep beating that horse and you think that it's dead? That horse is not dead. It's whinnying. It is screaming out in pain. You need to comprehend all of these bits of information, and not because I told you or some more told you, or because some Patrick Devine, or I don't know all the names that they've got out there. Those people who have notoriety and they're not getting harassed by the system, those people have notoriety and they're not getting harassed because they're putting you into corporate concepts. They're not teaching you how to be free of the system. So they are allowing those people and those wrong concepts to get out because they're not correct. And as long as they're not correct, you're not free. And as long as you're not free, they are happy. So, please stop listening to others. Please start utilizing your own brain cells. Because when I was listening to others, I was doing incorrect things that weren't applying to my situation. So, read for yourself. Stop listening to others. Others will not be there in the moment that you are having an emergency. Others will not appear from nowhere to save you from your emergency. The only thing that's going to save you from your emergent situation is the information, the knowledge that your mind is able to wield. Stop allowing others to tell you that you don't need to read all of that mess. When they start telling you that, know that that motherfucker is a Freemason. And the reason why he's telling you don't read this shit is because all Freemasons at the end of this will meet their demise. All of them. Every one of them. Now, if you don't believe me, every other day I get a report on how these new goddamn cops are just coming up dead. And it's so funny to me. They're coming up dead, but all of these motherfuckers were sergeants and captains and higher positions. The lowly motherfuckers, ain't nothing happening to them. They all running around going, oh shit, what happened to the sergeant? Oh shit, what happened to the captain? Oh shit, what happened to that other guy? Oh, did you find out what happened in the corporate offices downtown? Blah, 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 blah. They're all talking about this shit. So, and they're like, oh, well, it was a heart attack. Oh, it was a this. Oh, it was a that. How about they didn't tell you that this motherfucker been missing for 2 months, don't nobody talk to him, and all of a sudden, oh, he just passed away. It's like, where the fuck has he been for these 2 months? Before he passed away. How about that motherfucker got rounded up for his fucking participation? And that motherfucker was in custody. And then when they said, all right, you don't have any more information that is vital for us to be able to arrest others. So therefore, you can go ahead and go. There's no reason to further preserve you. Now, I'm watching this shit happen in real time. People think that I'm crazy because I am saying things that they don't know. And then they go back and they figure, oh shit, that bitch knew. Yes. Bitch, I know. I do know. I know because I am reading what should be in the rules. And I am also seeing what is actually happening. And I am seeing that these rules are not being applied to this wrong scenario. So, who is not applying these rules? They are criminal. Who is getting away with this wrong scenario? They are criminal. Who is standing around watching all of this shit saying nothing? They are criminal. Now do you see how a person who reads can literally read all this situation, look up, and then pull out a 90 form or 95 form, a standard 95 form, and just literally start putting names on there and start writing? Yeah, no, I saw this. I saw that. Oh, I heard this exactly. Now, you can fill out a standard 95 form. All of the crazy chaos that you see before your eyes, you don't like looking at, you think is wrong, fill that shit out. Hand it in to the district court. That's called a claim. Make sure you write down all the information for your accusations and for your claims. Each claim has a fee. They'll have to give that to you. Because when you say, hey, this goes to court now, and they say, oh shit, we're going to have to bring this into court. Then you go into court and say, yes, I filed that claim. These people were doing this, that people were doing that, blah, blah, blah. There's no order here. These people are wrong. They're not doing their jobs. Those people have to be removed from that job, because if they are not being effective in that job, they don't need to be in that job, because there is lawlessness going on and they are allowing it. So therefore they are criminals. Get them the fuck out of that job. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Your power comes when you read, when you know what is actually happening, instead of standing around going, oh, I don't know what's going on over there. What's going on? Who's doing that? Oh, why don't they stop them? Because they're criminals. They're not going to stop them. But all of you people who think that you're not criminals, it is your job to come forward and to stop those things that you see as criminality. Because when you don't stop them, you are the fucking criminal. Now, I'm going to go finish my coffee. Have a wonderful morning. Maybe I'm going to go find me a muffin. So, peace. Have a great one. Get yourselves erudite.